Hello, salam, shalom, namaste, sat sri akal, aloha, hola, ciao, bonjour, buna, and privyet. It's really, really good to be with you again. And guess what? We have a very cool guest with us today, and I'm so excited to have her. So please give a well, you can't wait. Let me introduce her first, and then we'll give her a big warm welcome. And our guest today is Sharan Sammi. Welcome, Sharon.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you with us. Please, Sharon, tell us more about who you are and what you do.
Wonderful. So thank you, Samia, for having me and inviting me to your show. So I'm Sharan Sammi. I'm from the UK. I'm married with two beautiful earth angels, my daughter who is 9 and my son who is 6. And I mention my family first because my highest value in life is my family, and I do everything for my family. But in terms of myself, I spent traveling up and down the UK, up and down the country, loved what I did with a passion in financial markets, talking about the economy, etc. But then I started my personal development journey 18 years ago. So as a natural psychic medium, I started training myself in mindset, healing modalities, lots of coaching modalities such as Reiki healer, master teacher in traditional Usui Reiki, angelic Reiki, master NLP practitioner, theta healer. There's quite a different, number of modalities that I did. But I did that as a hobby. And then throughout my journey, realized that actually I wasn't fully aligned with my true values in life, especially when I got married, had my two beautiful earth angels. Working long hours in the corporate world just didn't really suit my lifestyle as a mother and as a wife. So something had to change. And that's when I turned my hobbies, my passion into my training and coaching business as an entrepreneur. And I left the corporate banking world at the start of 2020, just before the pandemic hit. The best decision ever, the best move by the universe. And then started my business as a manifesting abundance mentor and intuitive energy healer. So what I do is I empower women, so ambitious women, who are really looking for more purpose in their life to unlock their financial potential by uncovering
Mm.
and diving deep into their fears, their blocks, their limiting beliefs, anything that's stopping them from moving forward, activating that inner confidence so that they can then start to build that abundant legacy and also manifest their life by design, I call it. So just really just living their true purpose, living their true greatness where anything is possible. So I just love to align everything I do with my true values, and I teach other people as well to do that as well.
Oh, I love that. That is
Thank
amazing.
you.
And I think what you're doing, the switch that you have made in terms of the career and mission that you're on now, I think it's a perfect switch for you because I know you are an amazing manifestor yourself. So it makes sense that you are a manifesting abundance mentor.
Yeah, thank you.
Ah, so I was thinking it would be really, really great to learn more with you about how we can sort of erase the money blocks in our life. Can you tell me a little bit more about what money blocks are as you understand them? What are the problems people are dealing with because of which these money blocks might crop up?
Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode. Hope you're getting value out of it. For your information, this episode has been sponsored by the Happiness 101 program. Are you a change maker, coach, trainer, or healer? Are chains of fear holding you back from making the impact and income you desire? Using a unique combination of positive psychology and the spiritual wisdom of our most effective change makers, The Happiness 101 program helps you break through your limiting beliefs and manifest the abundance and success you desire with fun and ease. Interested? Book a free Happiness 101 exploration call with me, your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Just use my online calendar link in the show notes. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, definitely. And this is such a great topic area to be talking to you about. So money blocks is definitely my jam in terms of helping my clients to overcome them. So first of all, you mentioned, what is a money block? Well, it's basically that thing, that block, that thought process that actually stops us from manifesting the money in abundance into our lives. And quite simply, I'll give you an example. It's like, for example, if you think about money, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? And you're listening out there right now. So think about money right now. How do you feel about it? What are the thoughts that are coming through your mind? And then really notice, is it a positive? Is it a positive view? Like, for example, like, I know money's going to come to me, and you feel really excited and really lit up about money. You can go out, you can spend, you don't worry about money. You know that all your bills are going to be paid, all the things that you want to buy, you can do it in abundance. Or is it the opposite, where you may be repelling money away from you with the thoughts, I don't have enough money. Money never seems to stay. Money always comes and then it goes. I can never buy the things I want to buy. Why is it so difficult? And the common ones are this. Money doesn't grow on trees, which we probably heard so many times from our parents when we were growing up in our childhood. Money is the root of all evil. The rich people are greedy. So why do we want to have this money? Because we don't want to be greedy. And it's all of the negative connotations that we've immersed ourselves with. And some of it is not even our beliefs. So when we grew up as a child, we may have taken on our parents' view. You go to the toy shop or you go to a store. And as a child, what do children do? I want this, mommy. I want this, daddy. I want this. And a lot of the time, it's very common with my clients that have said, and even myself, parents will say, oh no, we can't afford that. That's too expensive. Do you think money grows on trees? How, you can have that when it's your birthday, special occasion. We can't afford it. All of that lack and the scarcity and the limitation, and it's a downward spiral. And then what happens is, as a child up to the age of 7, we're like a sponge. So thinking, oh, I can't afford this, money doesn't grow on trees. Money makes you greedy, it's for the rich people, and it's all of those connotations. And then when you grow up in life, the way it comes out is you then start to, because we all manifest, whether it's good things, whether it's bad things, whether we are consciously aware of this, we are all manifesting. But the key thing is to be deliberate creators, being really conscious of manifesting as a decision instead of just going on default, allowing your thoughts to run the show, which is this, quite frankly, I don't have enough money. So what happens? The universe is listening, the collective consciousness energy, and it's like, okay, don't have enough money? Okay, we'll give you a bill. We'll give you the credit card statement. We'll give you this. Your car will break down. You need a new laptop. So then you're fulfilling that thought and your belief system of saying, I don't have enough money. So the universe is just reinforcing that belief for you. So it's, I don't have enough money. So the universe is basically making that experience in reality for you. Whereas if you shift the paradigm and you shift the habits and the behaviors, which I can share later on with you as well in terms of affirmations, you shift that completely from I don't have enough money to I have money. Money flows quickly and easily to me. And you have that different energy. And then you will be surprised because over time, when you work through your blocks at that deep subconscious level, you open up to opportunities, the synchronicities where money does flow to you. People that may have owed you money, the money comes in. You get a pay rise at work. If you've got a business, more clients come to you and they pay you in full without paying you in installments. and you receive this money, refunds, competitions, winning a scratch card, winning the lottery, all of this stuff. But it's a different mindset. And when you have that different mindset and overcome the blocks, which is a process, it's not just you do it once and that's it. So me, going through this 18-year personal development journey, every time I've up-leveled or, gone through a particular point, call it the income ceiling, you go through that income ceiling, you're faced with more money blocks, more stuff it's a bit like the onion. You peel the layers. You keep peeling the layers and then you advance and oh no, I've got all of this other resistance that comes in, and then you peel back the layers. It's like a constant healing journey. But when you really work through the blocks, you can really change your life.
Yes. Oh, you brought up so many excellent points and made me think about so many things. Oh gosh. Okay, so I don't know where to start. I do. I have lots of ideas. Okay. So, like when you were, for example, talking about the idea of, the universe, like if you have those limiting beliefs, if you have that mindset of, oh, there isn't enough, then the universe sort of creates that reality for you. I think one of the things I've been realizing about that in my experience is that it's not so much that the universe is creating that reality for you. It's sort of like, all of these the universe, the reality, and like if you think of it as it is what it is. It is what it is. And it's an issue perhaps of what am I focusing on? Like if there's a big picture we are looking at, what part of the picture am I focusing on? And so what I focus on expands, in the sense that if I choose to focus on the scarcity, it's from a certain perspective, that's a valid perspective. But then that scarcity seems to expand for you because that's what you're focusing on versus if you focus on the abundance aspect, then the abundance expands. And it's not that one perspective is more right than the other, but, we do want to know that we can choose which perspective we cultivate and hold because we want to be and experiencing more abundance rather than scarcity.
Definitely. And I'll give you an example here as well, taking that a step further. And it was great how you just put that together because it is all in the focus. You can focus on the lack and the scarcity and repelling money away from you, or you can focus on actually attracting money towards you, the abundance, the positivity, and having it like a magnet towards you. And one of the key things here that I teach my clients and bring in the collective consciousness, the collective together. And this is the key thing because it's noticing as well who you are around. Because there's a quote out there, a famous quote, that you are an average of the top 5 people you spend the most time with. So if, for example, you've got the thought process, oh, I haven't got enough, money never seems to stay in my bank account. I never have enough money. And then you're around your friends, your family, your work colleagues who are always thinking, oh, I don't have enough money. I can't do this. I can't buy this. I've got to scrimp. I've got to save. I can't go on holiday till next year. And you're around all of this energy because other people are relaying these thoughts as well to you. It's in your energy field and it's all around you. So then what happens is you're bouncing all this negativity off each other and you're escalating it so high that it's like, it can really drain your energy and start to feel really uncomfortable. So one thing I would say to you listening out there as an exercise is just notice and just answer to yourself, who are the top 5 people I spend the most time with? And then when you actually, even write down the top 5 people you spend the most time with. So whether it's your husband, your partner, your wife, your husband, your children, whether it's your mother, whether it's your work colleagues, your next door neighbor, your best friend, whoever it is, your cousins, whoever it is, write their names down. And then at the side, write down in terms of, do you feel that they're overall like a positive, optimistic person? Or do you feel they're quite pessimistic, not encouraging you, not supporting you? So if you had an idea and you went to, say, person A, would they encourage you or would they really disempower you and think really negative? And that's kind of your warning sign. Like, the ones that are negative, okay, well, maybe start to have a plan. Maybe spend less time with the negative and focus more times, to be around the positive people. And then what you do is as soon as you let go of the negative people, the people that drain you, don't support you, really take your energy, zap that energy and you move away from that. What you're doing is you're creating space for better, positive, more abundant people to come into your life. And then when they do, feel that uplifted energy because you are an average of the top 5 people you spend the most time with. And it's so powerful and it's so important.
Yeah. Now you just made me think about, like I'm from India and Pakistan, and I mean both India and Pakistan. I'm half and half.
Yeah.
And, we in my family, well, at least certainly when I lived in India and Pakistan, I always lived as part of a joint family system. So I was surrounded by family. And,
Yeah.
you, in some ways, you have the family you have. You don't, uh, at least, especially when you're young and a child, you're not choosing the family that you have. Um,
Yeah.
but one thing that I realized, even as a child, is that um, different people are good for different things for us. In the sense that, there's no one is just completely encouraging or completely discouraging, generally speaking. Most people will have their issues where they're cool with you on this issue, but then they have their buttons that if they themselves get triggered, or something is difficult for them. And so if you um, bring up that for them, then they become, then you see their more pessimistic side or their more discouraging side.
Yeah.
And so part of, the cool thing about being part of a joint family system is that you learn to navigate all of these kinds of dynamics, and you're like, if I want this, then I will go to this person in my family and they will help
Yeah.
me and they will encourage me on this. And, I will use them to be a cushion against that person in the family who I know is going to discourage me on that.
Definitely, definitely. And do you know what with families? Because obviously we're both from like Asian backgrounds.
Uh-huh.
And, being around family is like really important. Like I mentioned right at the start, my number one value is my family. That's what I
Mhm.
do everything for. And what I realized was as well is family wants to be there for you. They want to
Yeah.
support you. They want to, really help and encourage you. But sometimes, and this is just a big sometimes, okay? And this is what I've personally, experienced. And to an extent, it has, it did impact on the mental health side and, my energy and my emotions and everything. And I had to deal with this, even though I spent like 18 years, training in coaching and healing modalities. Sometimes, like you mentioned, we go through ups and downs in life. And I'll give you a quick example. Like I got married and it's going to be 12 years now, almost in a couple of months' time. And, fantastic marriage. Got on well with, in-law side of the family. But then what I realized was when I then started coming out of the corporate world and wanted to establish my business, me and my husband, I'm just going to say openly, like we are abundant, we manifest. Like I'm known from my clients as like the queen of manifesting, a serial manifester from the age of 6, winning brand new cars, permanent role on a top UK TV soap, increasing my salary by 110% in the banking world when, there was so much resistance. Loads of people like out there were telling me, that's impossible. You can't do this. You can't do that. And this is the thing. It's like, be really careful who you listen to. And I had a real personal, quite a negative experience. And halfway through my married life, I was transitioning from corporate, starting business, very, very high vibe, positive person, very optimistic. It's what I really am. I'm very super motivated and ambitious. And what I felt was like I was talking about my plans. I was talking about, all this positivity stuff because I was immersed in all this personal development stuff, not realizing then really that people are on their own journeys. Not everybody has gone through the same personal development stuff. And then what I realized was so much resistance by certain family members of my husband's side of the family, where they literally, it was like an emotional attack, so to speak. So we go through our ups and downs in life. And then what happens is when you go to a certain level, you then may start to feel resistance from other people around you, whether it's your family, your friends, your peers, your work colleagues. And what actually essentially happens is because you're shining your light, in whatever, you've up-leveled, whatever you've achieved, it's bringing out the insecurities from other people around you without probably them even realizing themselves. Because what happens is they look at you as that shining example, but then automatically they feel this resistance towards you because you're there showing them that it's achievable, showing that they can do it. But then what's happening indirectly is it's triggering them. It's bringing out all the insecurities within themselves of, oh, I'm not good enough in my life. I want my life to be better. And it's like sometimes it brings out the comparison, like comparing to another person. Sometimes it brings out the insecurities, like, oh, how did they get that compared to me? That jealousy, that envious. So it's about also noticing the stuff that happens around you, because you're not going to be for everybody. You go through your journey. Not everybody goes through personal development. Not everybody, makes it. Like, for example, with me, it's a way of life. Self-improvement, working on my mental health is a way of life. And the key thing here with mental health especially is noticing how you feel deep within, and it's just, and we've got our own internal GPS system, and it's so incredible. It's our feelings. And we can literally go, okay, in this moment, and you're listening right now, in this moment, how do you feel about your life right now? How do you feel about your relationship? How do you feel about the money in your life? The list is endless. You can go through everything in your life. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? And then notice how you feel. Do you feel negative? Do you feel positive? And this comes back down to like the manifesting and, changing the vibration, changing the energy, noticing why it's so negative, noticing the people that you're surrounded by. Are they amplifying the negativity, or are they helping and supporting you into changing? Because support is always available, especially on the mental health side. So I've had this within my life, and the way I personally dealt with it was I took a step back because I was emotionally attacked. Like everything, that all the insecurities that these other people were facing because they saw me as this light, or however they portrayed and they saw me as, it was bringing out all this insecurity where they literally threw it back at me like, you are not good enough, saying all this negative stuff to me. And then it really affected me. And I was just thinking to myself, I don't understand what's happened, because I love my life, and I really did. I really do. I love my life. And, I've got a fantastic business, amazing husband, amazing children, we're doing all this great stuff. Yeah, I'm hearing all this stuff about me not trusting people, not worthy, not being good enough. And I was thinking, is that me? And it did affect me. It affected me for a short space of time because I knew how to deal with it. The personal development mindset techniques to bring me back to reality, to think, actually, stop. So I was thinking, is it really me? Is it something that I've done? I actually feel that my life is great. So I don't understand why I'm getting all this negativity thrown back at me. And then I stopped and I assessed, actually, do you know what? The issue is coming from the other side. And then I realized a deeper thing, that actually other people can get triggered based on your success. And this is a key learning point here for all of you listening. Never compare yourself to somebody else. You know, your chapter 2, you can't compare that to somebody's chapter 20. You know, your chapter 8, you can't compare it to somebody's chapter 3. You're all going through your own journey. And the only person you can compare yourself to is the person in the mirror that you was yesterday. And I always say that the only person you can compare yourself is to the person yesterday. You become the better version of you today, for you, for your family, for the loved ones, for your children, for your partner, for your parents, you know, for those people that really matter and make a difference in your life. And that's what I'm all about, you know, being authentic, being true, but really feeling into your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, because that affects the actions you take, which give you the results.
Yes. I love this. This is such a key insight. It's actually life-changing once you really truly understand that your beliefs impact your thoughts impact your behaviors. Because,
Yeah,
I remember when I first started actually sharing this idea with people, I remember some very vivid instances where the people I shared this idea with reacted so negatively because they
yeah,
thought that I was blaming them, and saying, oh, where you're at in your life is your fault because your behaviors are a result of your thoughts and your beliefs. And I was
yeah,
like, no, 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 that's not where I'm coming from. If you, I'm sharing this as a thought of empowerment, because once you realize this and you accept this, then,
yeah,
you also realize that I have the power to create change in my life because I can
yeah,
change my thoughts. I can change my beliefs. So,
yeah. And you know, the key thing here is
yeah.
some people out there in the world, and if you're listening, this is completely fine as well. You don't realize the power and the magnitude of the power you have, the freedom
Mm,
of your own thoughts. And as the
yeah.
late Wayne Dyer says, change your thoughts, change your life. And it does sound so simple. Change your thoughts, change your life. It's true. You know,
Yeah.
change the I don't have enough money. You know, I'm not good enough to, I can do this. You know, it's all in your thoughts. It's all in your thoughts.
Yes. And I think, sometimes when people are stuck in the scarcity mindset, it really, they're just not able to even appreciate their own brilliance. I'm reminded of like some people. So there is this one lady in particular I'm thinking about right now. And undoubtedly, she was in a tough situation if you looked at her life from certain perspective. The reason I got connected with her is because, as some of our listeners might know, if you're a regular listener, I actually have a background in working with survivors of domestic violence because I worked as a crisis counselor on a sexual assault and domestic violence hotline for a good 4 years, actually. And at this point in time, when I met this lady, I'd actually stopped working on the hotline. But, I have the skills that I do and I have the knowledge that I do. And it's amazing. Like, once you have awareness and understanding of what abuse looks like, this and that, you see it happening everywhere.
Yeah,
Anyway, I connected with this lady because she wanted to work with me as a happiness expert. I was like, great, let's do it. But very soon I realized she was actually in an abusive relationship, and the
mm,
cause of her unhappiness was in fact that she was suffering a lot of abuse. Anyway, the point of why I'm sharing right now about her is because I could actually see that she was a brilliant manifester in the sense that, she needed all kinds of help, and she keeps manifesting all these people in her life who are there to help her in amazing ways. Like, I mean, she manifested me into her life, and I did all kinds of things for her. Um, I've seen her manifest, like, she needed a place to live, and a safe place to live. And generally, most shelters here in America for domestic violence survivors, they will place, like, either there's no space, you find a space, they're like, oh, you can only be here for a few days. They'll have like limits on how long you can stay there, and then good luck to you.
Yeah.
She found a shelter where they were like, you can stay here as long as you want. She had her own apartment, that they gave her. It was clean. It was, properly well furnished. And, they were actually wrapping her up with all kinds of, support services. I was like, wow, this is so amazing. And this was the first time I'd worked with this particular shelter. I didn't even know they existed before she came into my life, and somehow she discovered. I mean, like I had suggested a bunch of other places to her. She got somehow referred to this particular place that turned out to be such an amazing place. I was in amazement by, um, just how accommodating they were being, but um, her attitude, like within a few weeks of her being there, she was like complaining about this, and she was complaining about that, and she was like, they're not treating me right. I'm like, what's wrong? And when she would actually tell me what's wrong and how she thought they were mistreating her, I was like, no, no, this is a perspective problem where,
But
she
it's
was so
also,
much,
it also could go really deeper than that as well on
yeah,
so many different levels, because it also sounds like as well, she's self-sabotaging herself. And the most common thing here is the fear of failure or the fear of
mm,
success. And she's, like you said, she manifested that place having gone through
yeah,
that violence. And then it also then brings up the
yeah,
whole thing of gratitude, having an attitude of gratitude and being really
yes,
grateful, which then lifts your
yeah,
vibration. But then if
yeah,
it's conflicting with her mindset of sabotaging herself, like, and that comes back down
yeah,
to as well, I'm not worthy of this. I'm only
yes,
deserving of being treated in that sort of domestic violence relationship. And
yes,
that could come from like various aspects, like her childhood, her DNA ancestral chain, even past life oaths and contracts and conditions that are still in place that's running through the
yeah,
lifetimes. It could even come from the soul level in terms of what is she here on this planet in this lifetime to learn, to discover, and to grow through. What's her karma? So
yeah,
on so many levels that you've mentioned there,
yes,
she's gone through that fantastic, amazing journey of manifesting you into her life and that
hmm,
amazing place. But it sounds like she was self-sabotaging herself as well. And this is what
yes,
lots of people do. Like, I've done this in the past. And, even you out there listening, you may have been, self-sabotaging yourself, which means like,
mhm,
you want to go for a job opportunity, like a promotion or start a business, but then something happens to stop it,
yeah,
but you had everything there, like maybe the money, the support, the background, and then all of a sudden it doesn't go to plan. And that's because
hmm,
sometimes indirectly we manifest those circumstances and conditions that can really throw us off and
yeah,
sabotage the results that we want, because it comes back down to as well, like, that lack of confidence, the worthiness. I'm not good enough. Who am I to do
yes,
this? The imposter syndrome.
yes,
Everybody else is so much better than me. Why should I do this? And I've personally gone through
yes,
this as well. And it's having the techniques and the tools to get out of it, to change the whole trajectory of your life. It's mindset. And I always find it comes down to mindset. 80% is mindset, 20% is strategy.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. This is so, um, profound to realize. It's really, really profound to realize because
Yeah.
the typical mindset is really about, like, when you have a problem, you're like, show me the strategy, tell me what to do and I'll do it
Yeah.
and it'll solve my problem. But
Yeah.
actually, that's not the reality of how it actually works. Like, if you actually look even at your own experience, when
Yeah.
you were working with this mindset of, okay, find me the strategy, you search for the strategy, you even find the strategy, but then the strategy doesn't work, and it keeps happening over and over again because
Yeah.
actually it's not the strategy that's the core challenge that needs to be resolved. It's actually the mindset issue
Yeah.
and making sure that you first are cultivating the right mindset. And then, of course, strategy also matters. But like you said, 80%
Yeah.
mindset. In fact, one of my mentors, I remember when I was taking a class in self-defense, um, I was learning like physical self-defense. And
Yeah.
my self-defense instructor said it's actually 90% mindset
Oh,
and
wow. Yeah, I love
10%
that.
strategy. Yes, because
It's true. It's true.
yes,
It's true.
yes. He was like, he would say that, if you have the right mindset, like if you believe in yourself in terms of,
Yeah.
um, I that I will do whatever it takes to protect myself, to keep myself safe.
Yeah.
You believe that you deserve that, safety. You have the right to stand up for yourself. If you have that mindset, you will do whatever it takes, even if you don't know fancy techniques,
Yeah.
or proper ways of fighting. You will figure out a way to survive, to get yourself out of there. Versus somebody, like, there have been actually known documented cases of people who actually trained in various forms of, like, let's say, boxing or martial arts or this or that
Yeah.
for literally years. But when they are faced with an actual fight, like an actual real life fight, they freeze or they fail to be
Yeah.
able to actually effectively protect themselves because oftentimes in these kinds of situations, what is happening is that when they did their training, it was like a sport. And so they didn't
Yeah.
actually cultivate the mindset of whatever it takes to protect myself. When they were
Yeah.
faced with the reality of people not acting by the rules and, being nefarious,
Yeah.
then they were not able to have the right, sustain the
Yeah.
right mental attitude in that situation, unfortunately. So
Yeah. Definitely.
it really does
Definitely.
come down to first mindset, and then there's a
Yeah.
little bit of strategy that if you
Definitely.
have in place, it helps.
Yeah, definitely. A corporate example. So in the workplace, that is really, really key because
Mm,
I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of clients. And what I see the most common is, like we've mentioned, you can know all the strategy, how to do your job description, A to Z. You've been
mm,
in the same job for 20 years. Why? You know all the strategy, but then a younger person comes in or somebody else that lacks the experience, so doesn't have the strategy, yet they progress, they up level, they then become your manager. And one of my clients recently said, this was when they started working with me, she said,
mm,
I don't understand. I'm like 48 years old. Somebody's just come in. He's 23 years old and he's become my manager. He's 23 years old. I've gone through this job. I'm 48. She specifically said, I'm 48 years old. I've got over like 20 years of like experience. This person's just left university, got 2 years experience, and he's progressed and he's managing her. So what we
mm,
did in a short space of time was, it wasn't the strategy like we've said, it was the mindset. And she literally had childhood pre-programming that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. Everything I do it's a mistake. I can never do
Yeah.
things the right way. And then she had that imposter syndrome, like looking at everybody else, go, everybody else is better than me. And when we unraveled it through hypnosis, timeline therapy, lots of healing modalities, we unraveled it. We took her back to the childhood, memories. And there was lots of different memories, but I can remember because she's like a very like recent client of mine that's changed her whole life trajectory. But I can remember one of her memories was when she was about 4 or 5 years old. Her mom in particular used to compare her against her older sibling. She said, you need to do this because if you don't, you're not going to be like her. She's so much smarter. She's so much braver. You need to stop doing this and you need to start learning. And her mom kept constantly comparing and comparing, even to the point of the weight. Look, you need to get thinner. Look how she looks and look how you look. This is not going to fit you because look at you and look at her. And there was
Yeah.
all of this stuff that her own mother, and obviously it's not the mom's fault because it went back through generations. Her mom used to do it to her. The grandparents used to do it to, the great grandparents used to do it to the grandparents. And it was the ancestral stuff. But when you
Yeah.
start unraveling, where is this coming from? Because then she's in the workplace and she's comparing and going, I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not going to be as good as that person. But actually, it's because of her mindset. One particular point in the past, her belief system literally associated a particular thought with that memory. And then throughout her life, her mind just triggers back to that memory and she's living the same reality. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. Everybody else is better than me. So she would never get that job. But then what's happened is within a short space of time of healing, going to the deep subconscious level, removing that belief at the cellular level, and then replacing it with the embedded, empowered belief that actually I can do this. I am worthy. I am good enough. I can get a promotion. I can be successful. I am motivated. All of these empowering beliefs. She's now applied. Well, actually, a couple of months ago, she applied for a management role and she was successful. And the key thing here was that icing on the cake was that she asked for a 25% pay rise because that's what the management position was in a different department.
Yeah.
But she actually got a 40% pay increase because of her skill set. She's got over 20 years of like experience. So she's worth a hell of a lot more than the
Yeah.
23-year-old that's come in. But she's on a different pay scale. She's on a different
Yeah.
position. And it's more than ample. It's more than 10 times paid for the sessions that she had with me. But isn't that worth it? Because she's changed. And she's also changed now her relationship with her partner as well, her husband. They were having a lot of disagreements, a lot of battles, the masculine and feminine energy, a lot of issues. And that's resolved because she feels better about herself. She feels good enough. She feels worthy enough. And above all else, she loves herself. She
Yeah.
loves herself. And that's the key thing here. It's all about self-love as well, self-love and self-care. But definitely,
Oh,
yeah.
oh man, Sharon, you just keep
I'm
talking
really
all these
enjoying our
amazing.
conversation.
Yes, oh my gosh. And I'm going to have to stop us because I know you are also
Yeah.
on a schedule and you need to get going, but we'll probably need to bring you back so we can keep talking. Oh, thank you so much for all the amazing wisdom you've shared
Oh,
with us
you're
today.
welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. Do you have any last thoughts you want to share? How can people get in touch with you? Anything at all?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave you with a mantra, which is a positive affirmation that if you keep saying the words, you will change your vibration. You will switch your vibration from a negative to a positive. And it's 6 words that I use personally. And so do my clients. And the power of the words is amazing. So I'm going to give you the 6 words, first of all. So it's I can, I will, I am. And when you say those words,
Mm,
I can, I will, I am, and you say them with so much power in your voice and feel the emotion from your heart chakra, from your heart center, it will really open you up to a higher vibration and it will open you up to more opportunities, synchronicities from the universe to come through to manifest the things that you want. But in terms of connecting with me further, I'm across all social media, so I think the links will be posted as well. But Sharan Sammi across LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, so you can connect with me there. I've also got a private group called Anything is Possible, and that's on Facebook. It's a high vibe, manifesting group where I teach a lot of strategies, do live coaching sessions, psychic medium readings, etc. And I'll also gift you a free affirmations ebook which gives you 100 daily affirmations in 10 life categories, such as self-confidence, self-esteem, self-love, self-care. So there's all these different categories, 10 categories, and you've got 10 different life-affirming daily affirmations. And the ebook tells you, it's like a guide, like what is an affirmation, how do you use the affirmation, what's the benefit, what how not to use an affirmation. It's all about
Yes.
evoking your feelings, and it runs through everything in this guide. It gives you all these powerful affirmations, and people have actually seen positive shifts in their life. So if you just click the link that's in the show notes as well, and you can access the affirmation ebook for free. So thank
Oh,
you so much, Samia, for having me here. I've really enjoyed our conversation, and thank you to everybody
yes.
as well.
Oh, thank you, Sharon. Thank you again. And just right again, you dropped a bunch of great, amazing bits of wisdom. So to all of our listeners, please check the show notes and follow up on these links. Take advantage of this amazing gift that Sharon is giving us with the affirmations ebook, because, I will also share that um, a lot of people understand that affirmations are powerful, and they're not able to actually tap into the power of affirmations because
Yeah,
they're not doing them correctly, in the sense that uh, people will often just make it a activity where you're just thinking words in your mind, but they're
yeah,
not feeling the
yeah.
feelings, and they don't know how to feel the feelings behind that you want to feel with the affirmations. So there is a better way to do affirmations, and Sharon is sharing that with us. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, and until we connect next time, I just wish you lots and lots of peace and joy.